there's a lot of mindset shift that actually has to go in for us to actually make the most out of this event. And so we'll be inviting once again our CEO to come and give us a brief mind setting session. Please let's put our hands together for him.
Wow. Check, 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 check. Okay, so I just want to say a few things before I would invite our main speaker for today, and after which we would have another session, and then we'll do a panel discussion. So before, if you have any question while our speaker will be speaking, please just write it down. Write it down. We'll have a panel discussion where you get to ask all your questions. Is that okay? Fantastic. Now, the day that a man's life will change, on that day, the sun will not be blue. And on that day, people will not be walking on their head. It will look like every other normal day. I'm saying this because the very day I heard, not for the first time though, but the very first time I came into an event that they talked about Forex, I was unsuspecting. I wasn't really expecting anything. I just came unassuming. I came just like every other regular person that came. But this is over 6 years down the line. I met the guy that was even teaching, that taught us on that day, the guy that did the event, organized the event that I came for. I met him on Facebook, and to the best of my knowledge, I think I'm doing much, I think this is just my thoughts. From the way he was talking, from the way he complained about some certain things, I just knew that somehow time and chance has happened. So this was somebody that taught me, that gave me the idea that this thing was making money. Over 6 years down the line, and I can say I'm making good money from it. Why I'm saying this is because for some of you, this is the day that something is about to really change in your life. And I mean that because I've had conversations with Sir Ejimi. This is a corporate event, that's why I'm calling him Sir. I don't know, Daniela is used to pastor. so that I've had conversations with him, and I can tell you of a truth. This is someone that has passion for the industry. This is someone that has real passion for the industry. I thought I was passionate because we've all seen a lot of things in this industry. We've all seen a lot of scammers, a lot of quacks, a lot of people who claim they are getting some results that they are really not getting. But this is somebody that I can verify that he has the results. And not just only having the results, he has been able to train other people that also have the results. I was discussing with him yesterday, and he shared some very amazing things with me. Like, wow. I was like, wow, I never saw it that way. I just hope that he's going to share a little of that discussion that we had yesterday, because it would reshape your mind as far as Forex trading is concerned in Nigeria, in Africa, and globally. It will really reshape your mind, because unfortunately, we have found ourselves in an industry where it seems like you need to show some extravagancy for you to prove that it is working. Yeah. That was part of the discussions we had, and it was really amazing to me because, of course, I wouldn't go into disclosing, maybe worth and things like that, but I can say of the truth, there's some level of results that he has in what he's doing. And on both, it's fortunate, it's really fortunate, but for some people, they might think it's an unfortunate thing that you might not, the kind of mindset that people have about Forex in Africa, especially, he doesn't have that kind of mindset. And because of the most common mindset that people have about Forex, that is why the Forex trading industry in Nigeria and in Africa is really not doing well. Because in a bid to prove that what you're doing is working, you take risk that is bigger than you. You blow your account. Yeah. In a bid to also show that you can also, of course, this was really, the discussion we had was really mind-blowing for me. When you see an average, somebody tells you he's a Forex trader, next thing that people are looking at is, okay, where's your G-Wagon? Where's your Benz? And it's a very funny thing, but that's a very wrong, terrible mindset about the industry. He said that, have you ever seen somebody tells you I'm a medical consultant. Do you start looking for, okay, where's your car? Where's your house? Because the average Forex trader in Nigeria thinks this is a get-rich-quick scheme. So if you're not making money from it, you're talking Babladash. You're talking Bala Blue. So that's the average mentality of an average Forex trader. They think, I used to teach this to my students, that the fact that you're not making money in Forex doesn't make you a bad Forex trader. For some people, what they just need is capital. For some people, what they just need is the environment. For some people, what they need is just the change in mindset. But because the people that most traders in Africa here actually love, they just try to accumulate their lifestyle, just try to copy the lifestyle without understanding that, these are many years of trading. These are many years of blown account, many years of consistency that has brought those things. But some people just want to have the results in 1 year of trading. Wow. Wow. Because the mindset is once you go in, just cash out. It's quick money. That's why a Yahoo boy would easily camouflage and tell you it's Forex, I'm trading. And if they now want to confuse you more, they say it's grace. They now cream it with grace. But the truth is, the possibilities available in the Forex market is inexhaustible. There is money to go around. Yes, there is money to go around. But the truth is, you are not patient. You're not patient to do what it takes to allow that money to get to your own turn. Because you want it now. Because as it is hot. And that's why people see Forex trading. I tell my students that Forex trading is a profession. That's why a good trader is called a professional trader. It is a profession. It takes a while to perfect. It is not just like every other profession. It takes years of learning. I'm a physical therapist, as she has already she told you. I did 5 years in school. For me to be certified as a physical therapist, I did 5 years in school. Lectures upon lectures, late nights, and all of that. For me to be certified that if you give this guy a stroke patient, he knows what to do. But the average Forex trader just wants to become a professional after this training. I saw somebody posted, I think it was a meme. Guy posted a meme on his status one time. He said, he was kind of lamenting. He was like, Kunle, no be yesterday two of us go Forex trading. You don't turn professional trader. That's the reality. Because it is very easy to camouflage in the industry. You can get screenshots of results from anywhere. In fact, that's how people get scammed most times. People have WhatsApp or Telegram channels two Telegram channels. One, they send a buy signal, send a sell signal here. The one that works, they'll show you the result. And tell you, I sent the signal. I call the signal. A lot of rubbish is happening in this industry. I'm telling you the truth. A lot of rubbish. So if you're not somebody who has this mindset, you think it's just hit and run. I'm saying this to reshape your mindset so that when our speaker comes out to deliver his session, that you are ready to receive the value. Like I said, there's money to go around. I've touched small. And some of my students have also touched small. But there's still enough. The Forex market is currently, I think, it's close to $8 trillion market right now. There is that's a lot of money. If they share everybody here $1 million, it will not, the market will even know that you took anything. So there's enough to go around if you would learn how it works. So with no further ado, I want to invite one of the, not the one of the, Africa's top. My God. Africa's top Forex coach, Sir Ejimi.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Please, you may take your seats. Thank you. Once more, let's put our hands together for the leadership of Trade Wave. My dear brother and his lovely wife, and to all the speakers, the great men. I see you online. I've met some of you. We met when you were in Zaria, almost like 4 years ago, yes, sir. So you were in my city, now I'm in your city. Thank you so very much. Please let's put our hands together for them. And to my lovely wife who graciously agreed to follow me, please put your hands together for her. One day we are going to have a discussion, we'll have a forum. We'll call it Traders' Wives. You think trading is hard? Try being a trader's wife. Because if you are the one trading, you already know when you have blown the account. Yes or no? I can't count how many times in the last 15 years that I'll just rush and go and meet my wife. I'll just shake her hands and say, baby, I've gotten it. We are made for life. After like a week or two, she'll say, you are quiet. I said, that thing I thought I got, I didn't get it. You can relate, right? Or when I'm driving, those days, and I'll now hand over my laptop to her. I said, just be watching this. If this passes this, just press this. My wife will be looking at me and saying, what kind of job is this? So when I finally broke through, my wife told me, point blank, I hate Forex. When I finally broke through, and I said, you see this Forex? I will show you. So when we started traveling and everything, and I said, what's your opinion about Forex? And I said, I still hate Forex, but I love the money. So let's put our hands together for all the traders' wives for standing by us. Let me give you a quick secret. When you start your Forex journey, please, don't make your family believe that you are the savior of the family. One of my mentors 4 years ago, when he started making money and he started withdrawing, he would go home and he would just be declaring. I was just smiling. One day I called him, I said, you are training your family to believe that Forex is an ATM. That you just go, pium, and collect money. I said, when you go through a tough streak, don't come and complain to me. A few months later, I came and said, I don't understand why my family will not understand with me. I said, they can't. Shebi, you are Mr. Dollars. And I told him, put all of them on an allowance. And once they exhaust that allowance till the next month, no matter how, put them all on an allowance. I said, because someone who is not a trader will not understand how psychologically demanding trading can be. He took my advice and he found peace. So, anyways, that's by the side. I want to use this opportunity to thank all of you for having me. And for all of you who show me love and support me online, I'm seeing my guys. I'm seeing T.Y. Ford. I'm seeing Toby. If you are here from ATM, any of my online communities, please raise your hands. Oh, fantastic. Please clap for yourself. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. All my people online. Oh, wow. Please put your hands together for them. Thank you so, so much. You may have your seats. Hepzibah, are you here? I know Hepzibah. Stand up, Hepzibah. Woo. Fantastic. Okay? Fantastic. All right. So I have like 50 minutes to do my presentation. And I'll run through it very quickly. And I like the angle you were taking it from, sir. Okay. So I was supposed to do this last. After my presentation. But I'll do it first. One of the reasons why I'll do it first is because, I noticed that from the tone of the meeting, some people were calling me pastor. Some people, have you noticed that most of the Forex people that get into trouble are pastors? Or pastors' boys? For those of you who are believers, that shows you that there's something in it for us. But we have not yet mastered how to bring out honey from the... Anyway, let's leave that. Let's leave that. From the mouth of the lion. So, a little about me. I got interested in investing in financial markets as an undergraduate. And I organized investment seminars on campus. I invited stockbrokers, investment analysts to speak to my fellow students from as far back as 2007. I used to fly stockbrokers over to come and do stockbroking, investment seminars, and all of that. I've always been passionate about money. I hate being poor. I hate it with a passion. And when I now found out that scripture hates it too, I was like, oh, fantastic. I found my excuse. There's nothing noble in poverty. It was in my journey for wealth creation that I stumbled upon Forex. And then I started trading Forex as a youth corper in 2008. I remember there was a day 2 corpers were fighting about Alawi, and they were making noise. They were disturbing me. I was on a trade. They were fighting about 15,000, and I was already making like 50K. I just said, just hold this argument. When I close this trade, I will share part of the withdrawal with you. And the argument ended. Most people are not reasonable. They are just broke. As I say, let me make money. You know the real me. Some of you are not stingy. They have just not made adequate withdrawals. Anyways, I became a member of Market Technicians Association in New York. And I continued researching, training, and learning. I became a chartered wealth manager and a fellow of the American Academy of Financial Management in 2010. And I became a bank trader. I started trading equities for the second largest investment bank in Nigeria in 2012. I was on a 5-man trading team. And then I resigned to trade FX. And then I worked with a few CFD brokers. I was a manager, I was a trainer, I was a consultant. When I got tired of the stress of Lagos, I relocated myself and my family to Zaria to trade personally since 2015. And then I started the Value Flow Trading Online Academy, founded Profitable Investor Network in 2016. I've trained over 25,000 free students and about 3,000 paid students online. And then when I did it online for a while and I found out that, people are still making foolish mistakes and getting into trouble. The whole of 2018, 2019, 2020, many people got into a lot of losses. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me set up a physical trading floor. And so I set up a physical trading floor and a private trading academy so I could do stuff physically. Why am I saying all of this? When I got into Forex, 2005, 2006, 2007, I finally took my trade, there was no Instagram. There was no Snapchat. There was only websites. And if you wanted to know about trading, you'd have to go online and Google. So I saw all these old white men who used to wear suits. I saw all these, conferences, exhibitions, expos. I would watch Bloomberg. I would see analysts. I would see so capital management. I would Google them. That was the Forex I was introduced to. That was why immediately after I finished my NYSC, I joined a professional body, Market Technicians Association. I started practicing for CMT, Chartered Market Technician. Then I went to do American Academy of Financial Management. I was the only young person there. I was a copper. I remember when I was doing my designation, two of my classmates, one was an executive director in PHB, and the second was the managing director of Meristem Wealth Management. And the person training me was like, Copper, what are you doing here? All these people, their banks paid for them and sent them here. I saved money. In fact, now I'm still owing them like 30,000. I had to tell the guy that, Haba bros, you too, I'm a copper. Because that's the Forex I was introduced to. Do you understand what I'm saying? And after like 2 years, I said I must trade in a bank. Because all the people I was looking up to, you hear them say, bank trader, bank trader, bank trader. Exams. Not one of those people ever showed me his Rolls Royce. Not one ever. It never occurred to me to ask them what they are driving. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This thing was presented to me like a profession. So the way you have accountants, architects. So maybe that's why I followed it the way I followed it, became a chartered wealth manager. And then we now slide to 2016, 2017, 2018, and the narrative is totally different. So maybe I can understand why somebody wants to quickly trade a big lot size and buy a Benz. Because that's how they show them that you are making progress. And maybe that's why, out of all the people I know that started trading Forex, I'm the only person today that maybe is still in the system, that is not on the run. Because we were shown a professional approach. Does this make sense? Okay. So trading is a profession. One of my traders on our floor did his January withdrawal or February withdrawal. I think it was about 10 million. And I told him, that if he buys anything, he's in trouble. I remember one of my students that posted an online, 11 million. That was like a year or two ago. Immediately he put it, I said, the day you do this again, don't call me your mentor. And he removed it. And I was like, I've never seen someone say I'm a medical doctor. And then the next thing you hear him say, they say, where's your clinic? Where's the hospital that you own? I'm like, I said I'm a doctor. Have you ever seen someone say he's a military man? And they say, where's your military convoy? Where's your Hilux with the gun truck? I was talking to traders the other day. I said, someone was like, I say I'm a trader. They'll be like, where's your car? I said, I'm a trader. I didn't say I'm rich. And they were like, oh, really? I said, this thing is a profession. We make progress. Is this helping somebody? All of you that are I see you on Twitter every time, arguing, trying to show this one is rich because of the car, this one is that. And I'm like, oh, wow. Do you remember SBF, Sam Bankman-Friedman? That was worth 15 billion today. FTX. And the next day, it was gone. Okay. That's the industry you are in. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Do not tie your personal self-worth to trading. I am not my trade statement. I am not my trading account. It's a job. Is what I'm saying making sense? It's a means of putting food on my table. This is one thing I want to correct. Because it puts people under pressure. Okay? So I'm not supposed to talk about this. I was called to talk on fundamental analysis, trading psychology, and the principles of profitable trading. Oh, let me say another story. One of my students told me one day that someone said he's poor, so he wants to buy a car. And I said, I don't understand. Where do you work? And where do you sleep? He said, in my BQ. And I said, good. Where do you trade from? My BQ. I said, good. So you want to buy a car. To wake up in the morning and drive from your BQ to your BQ because somebody told you are poor. And he looked at me and said, oh. And I said, your sister's schooling abroad. Who finished paying her school fees? He said, he did. I said, your father, when he was retiring and he was having high blood pressure, he told him, Daddy, calm down. I said, does your father fall sick again? He said, he doesn't. And I said, so you want to prove to somebody somewhere that said you are poor? And I said, you see that thing Dangote did? Go and do it. So he went to Echo Bank, told them to give him like $20,000. He looked at it. I think he took it home. Then he took it back to the bank and he entered Keke and went home. And I told him, the day that you start trading to prove a point, trading on its own is psychologically demanding. When you now add, I must show that I'm profitable. So that's the end of your trading career. If there's anything I will correct, resist the temptation to prove a point. The purpose of trading is to have time to make money, to do what matters most to you. Have I delivered somebody today? Say, I'm a trader. I didn't say I'm rich yet. Thank you. Oh, and for the record, trading only started making sense for me like 4 or 5 years ago. And I've been at it for 13 years. But because you have me, it should make sense in like 2 years. Okay, so fundamental analysis. Now we're going purely into teaching, not psychology or motivation. Fundamental analysis is a method of evaluating and forecasting the intrinsic value of an asset and its future price by studying and assessing the factors that affect it, factors such as economic conditions, macroeconomic data, geopolitical risk, and investment trends as they shift. It's a method of gauging the future price fluctuations of a currency by assessing the country's current economic conditions, central bank policy, geopolitical risk, fiscal policy, as they shift to know if it will make the currency appreciate or depreciate versus other currencies. So what economic news, this is going to be very boring. That's why I started with jokes and making you laugh. What economic news and data releases move the markets the most? Now, most traders, when it comes to fundamental analysis, these are the events they look out for. Number one, interest rate decisions. When you go online, when you go on Forex Factory, you can just put interest rate today and then click on news. Any news you see. So interest rate decisions, number one. Number two, so by interest rates for the dollar, you have things like FOMC minutes. I remember when I was trading one time and on a Wednesday evening, I just saw all my positions, poof, go into profit. And then there was another time on another Wednesday, I just saw all my winning positions, poof, go into a loss. And it's usually in the evening. So all the profit from London session, US session, that you're happy I'll close this trade tomorrow, you just see, boom. I said, what's going on? Someone told me FOMC. On Wednesday, from 7, be guided. Write it now. You see Wednesday, 7. The way you have midweek service. Wednesday, 7. There are some people somewhere that are, now is every 2 weeks. Be guided. All right, FOMC. That's for the US dollar. Then you now have rate statements by the Reserve Bank of Australia. That one happens in the night. You just wake up and see, boom, boom, serious spikes. So interest rate decisions by central banks. Number 2, inflation. So news like CPI, Consumer Price Index, PCE, Personal Consumption Index, PPI, Producer Price Index. All right? These are the news that move the market. Interest rate, FOMC, PPI, CPI, PCE. Just write it down. Go on Google and study it. Oh, and by the way, I read design in school. I'm not a trained economist. It's very interesting. Me and my wife, we joke about it. My wife read economics in school. And today she's a baker. She decorates and designs for a living. I read design in school. And today I'm an economist. We just look at ourselves and say, we were confused somehow, but God just knew that economics and design is in our destiny. So then the last is employment data. So things like NFP, ADP, unemployment, wage growth. I'm writing things you should go back and study if you want to understand fundamental analysis. Now, for those who are economists, not traders, they look at things like GDP, unemployment, and inflation. Why do I say this? And I'll say this as a digression. The trading industry is very broad. We can all make money. Do you know, when I entered into this hall, I asked myself, how can so many people, oh, nice to see you, sir, my brother, good to see you. How can so many people be dribbled by just a chart that just does just two things? Up or, it's an insult. Look at how many heads are here. And you don't put a chart, and this thing can only do two things, yes or no? It can go up, yet everybody here will be racking his head and say, wait, is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going up? Is it going down? And it's one of the reasons why we have to put our hands together for trade wave. You know why? Now I'm digressing from, because this is very boring. But do you realize that we trade against banks? Okay. Have you ever seen a bank that has just one staff inside? Okay. When I was trading in a bank, once you have IT issues, mind you, I didn't learn how to trade in a bank. Let me just say that those of you that are rushing now, the next thing is to look for bank job. I was shocked for 2 years. You guys actually know more about the markets than bankers. Just keep quiet. Yeah, take it from me. They are economists and analysts. They are not traders. Regardless of the outcome of what happens, their salary is paid. You hunt. If you don't kill, you will not eat. There's a big difference. So don't be intimidated by them. I respect them. I love them. I used to be one of them. But I'm saying don't be intimidated, okay? But back to what I was saying. In a bank, they work as a team, yes or no? The guy that does the IT is different from the guy that does the research, is different from the guy that does the execution, yes or no? You are your IT guy, yes or no? Which modem will I use? Which data will I use? Yes or no? You are also the same analyst. The bank, there's a whole research and analysis team. Sometimes we don't do our own analysis. It's whatever they say that we execute. Then there's someone responsible for execution. Then there's someone responsible for reconciliation. Then you, just you, believe that you can take on this whole group of people on your own. Why am I saying this? We need more collaborations in this industry and less competition. Do you know that if my brother here is a successful trader, and my brother here is a successful trader, I don't need to be a trader to make money. Those of you that have done marketing for trading companies, you know now. Tell some of my guys in the floor that, see, if you're unable to become a good trader, don't worry, you become a marketer and a trainer. They laugh and I say, but you make money. Where am I driving at? Be more collaborative in your approach to trading. The days of trying to be the star trader are over. Find 2, 3, 4 people and create structures where you are accountable one to another. I don't know why there's so much ego and shame in this industry. Do you know that trading is hard? So why should I feel bad for failing at something that is hard? If I call you now and say, come and do brain surgery for me, and you try your best, and you attach one green wire to a white wire and I run mad, will you feel bad? You'll just be like, bros, this thing is hard. I've done my best. Yes or no? Why do you feel ashamed when you struggle with trading? Then you will keep quiet and die in silence. Ask the guys on my floor. I learn from them every day. And they're like, oh, wow. I said, yes. Anyways, back to the slide. I'll be changing it with information and, all right? Is this helping somebody? Don't be ashamed to say, I don't understand this thing. One of my mentees that I trained, right? The guy was doing very well. He's one of the people that challenged me in trading. When he was doing very well, some of you know him, Sammy Matt, the pipsologist. I talk about him all the time. When I met Sammy, my goal was to be making 5% a month in trading. That's what I was making, and I was okay, because the way Forex had flogged me, if I collect 5% in 30 days, oh, I'm so grateful. Then I taught Sammy how to trade. And Sammy turned 18,000 to 360,000 in like 2 weeks. He now came and met me and said, sir, Why are you targeting 5%? In my mind, I says, I don't blame you. You have never owed, ma. Police has never chased you, Abi. That's why you are saying all these things. Because you have me for inspiration. Me, I had nobody for inspiration. So when he was doing very well, and I called him, I said, Sammy, I didn't say come and teach me at first. I can't say it immediately. I'm his mom. What do you mean? Are you joking? I was just being, yeah. There was a day I wanted to take a trade on GBB JPY. I can never forget. I said it to sell. And I said, let me just peep into his group. Sammy now said to buy. Wait, that's not the issue. So we took our trade from the exact same point. You know, if it had experienced small drawdown, Sammy's trade went straight to take profit. I said, there's problem. I just called him. I said, Sammy, when next will you be around? He was doing that. I said, I need to see you next week. Please come. And when he came, he sat down. I said, Sammy, show me this thing in structure. He was looking at me. I am what I am. As in, no matter what he becomes, I taught him. And he went further than me. Yes or no? At a point, I was teaching my guys something in the floor, and they were not getting it. I just said, Sammy, please come and train these guys. Paid for him. He came to the hotel. We hosted him 2 weeks. Gave him all the respect. He taught them. And after he taught them, they were like, oh, wow. And they understood. I would have stayed there, insisting that my people should understand. Out of respect, they'll just be saying, oh. After a while, they'll be like, oh, God, shift, please. Let's see you. It's what I'm saying making sense. I don't have ego. I just want to make money. And I learned this from Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio, the biggest hedge fund manager. All right? In his company, when he says something, there's someone who is going to say the opposite thing. That's what he's paid to do. So have I helped someone? Have I saved someone from ego? If you need help, ask for help. If I didn't tell you now that it's Sammy that made me to value structure, will you know? Some of you are already respecting me, yes or no? Small of that respect has come on him, yes or no? Has my account balance reduced? All right, so let's go back to GDP is usually considered, okay, most important. Traders should keep so this is what you should do. You see news like CPI, PCE, PPI, take note of them. CPI measures consumption cost, the cost of people consuming goods and services, while PPI measures production cost. The people that create those goods and services, how much does it cost them to create it? Is that making sense? All right, so these different economic data form the foundation of all global macro strategies. You should have a weekly news schedule in your trading journal. You should check financial media apps, things like investing.com, Forex Factory, forexlive.com. Check it from time to time every day before you trade so you can plan your trading schedule in advance. Okay? Now, some of these websites, Forex Live and all of that, they have reports that they release. Beginning of the year, they'll release. Even some of the broker firms, they have their research team. When you're on their mailing list, they send it to you. Read that research. Read. You cannot meet Dangote now and say, sir, I would like to manage funds for you. He now say, how do you trade? He now say, you see this fair value gap. When price returns to that imbalance, it's coming down. You now look and say, I don't understand. This green thing, I should give you $10 billion to manage because of this green thing. You now say, okay, if the green thing disappears, who do I hold? You now say, it can never disappear, sir. Take it from me. I tell all my guys, this may not be exactly what you use to trade. But when they invite you for channels, TV, CNBC, haba, you should know these things, yes or no? Okay. So they are right there, Forex Factory, investing.com, and then Twitter. When I wanted to understand macroeconomics, I went on Twitter a lot because there are all these independent traders, especially the ones that don't sell courses. I sell for a living, and I don't have a problem saying it. I sell courses, right? So I will not bash it. I say, oh, don't sell. If you're making money, why do you sell? Sales income is different from risk income. They're two different things. Yes or no? Exactly. So I remember in my early trading days when I erroneously thought that fundamental analysis is simply economic data and news trading. Some of you, when you hear fundamental analysis, I know what you're thinking of. There's someone I respect in the industry. One of his people is here, Happy Forex. Happy Forex and Jeffrey Benson. Please put your hands together for those two gentlemen. They changed the game, yes or no? They changed the game, yes or no? And I saw that Mercedes Benz. What I say? AMG. That's what you people like, right? So I remember how they used to do, I see some of the news trading around the high impact news. I follow their Instagram lives. We always watch it and all of that. And so there was a time in my career when I also wanted to be doing news trading, the early days. So all I tried to do was trade the spike caused by high impact news like FOMC, NFP, CPI. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Okay, you know that spike. Now last year was fantastic because last year was purely an inflationary play. The theme of last year was sell everything and buy dollar. Yes or no? Because of interest rate hike. Yes or no? Which was to battle inflation. Yes or no? Which was caused by COVID-19 stimulus in 2021. Yes or no? 700 billion was pumped into the market in 2021. It made everything to the moon. Yes or no? Then in November, they say we are going to start tapering. I remember posting online, Bitcoin is going to fall. It's there on my Instagram. You can see it. And they say you are a hater. They call me Peter something. There's one Peter guy. They always. I say, that moon you are mooning is 700 billion from Fed. Fed now said we are going to reduce stimulus. What happened to the moon? It started coming down. And there's a reason why. So 2021 and 2022 were very easy to trade because there was clear monetary policy direction. Yes or no? Quantitative easing in 2021, tapering in 20. Okay. For those of you who trade this, you've noticed that 2023 has become very different. Yes or no? Okay. We are back to the days of 2009 when I first started doing news trading, where when there's no clear monetary policy, what you now have is whipsaws. How many of you remember CPI and of this week? Those of you that traded CPI. Then the Valentine present of that did phew, phew. So this is what I used to do. I will straddle, I'll place buy stop, I'll place sell stop. 20 to 30 pips apart. And I will hope for the best. It will work sometimes. Other times price would whipsaw, trigger both orders, and buyers will lose, sellers will lose. I quickly found out that it's not sustainable, neither is it scalable. So I had to find a professional way to do fundamental analysis. Say it starts with knowledge. Please, once I have 15 minutes, let me know. Say it starts with knowledge. Okay, we can remove this so they can read. If someone can help me remove this. So, are we here? Okay. So, I now had to find out the fundamentals driving each currency. Because just straddling, how many of you here just put buy stop, sell stop? Or you fund two accounts, put $100 in one, $100, I know you're smiling, we've done all those things. You put 100 in one, 100, Abi? You can even do like two props. With two different prop guys. On one you do buy, on the other you do sell. It's not sustainable. So I decided to find out about this currency. So you can write this down. What are the, okay, fantastic. The US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. It has safe haven status. When there is turmoil, people want it. That's what happened last year. Nobody knew what was happening. Bonds were selling, crypto was selling, equities selling. All the traditional relationships that existed, they all broke down. What did people do? They bought the dollar. Yes or no? If you had bought dollar in January of last year, it was a straight trade, one side. Okay. It's influenced by Federal Reserve monetary policy. And then once you have trade wars or trade relationships with the European Union and China, that's what moves it fundamentally. Is this making sense so far? Okay, let's move to others. The euro, it benefits in times of US dollar weakness. Anytime the dollar is weak, DXY is weak, we expect it to rally. Same thing, monetary policy of the European Central Bank, and then trade relations and trade wars, US, China, and maybe a little of Russia. What about Canadian dollar? Now we're going into fundamentals. Canadian dollar, what are the characteristics? It's sensitive to global crude oil supply and demand. How many of you know the relationship between the Canadian dollar and crude oil prices? Did you know that? All right. When crude oil goes up, what happens to Canadian dollar usually? Why? Because the Canadian dollar is a petrodollar currency. It's kind of like the Naira. How many of you remember one time, like 2 years or 3 years ago on my Instagram, I just woke up and I said, dollar was at 360. I said, Naira dollar is going to rise. The rate is going to spike. How many of you saw that? If you've been following me for like and it was at 360. And the next day I called my aboki. I said, give me all the dollars you can get. It was like, okay, waiting to happen. I said, don't worry. You know why? Overnight, crude oil, the price of crude oil, it dropped significantly overnight by 50%. Between Friday and Monday morning. Immediately I woke up and I saw that gap. I just said, that's it. The Naira is going to crash. Why would the Naira crash? How does Nigeria make money? What else do we sell apart from crude oil? Not much. Yes or no? If what we are selling reduces in value by 50%, it's maths. I'm a businessman. What I'm selling reduces in value by 50%. What will happen to my income from sales? Thank you. Now add insecurity, pipeline vandalization. Immediately I saw that. I just said, what's going on? I called my bookie guys. They said the rate is still the same. I said, fantastic. I bought as much as I could buy. Tuesday, called again. He said the limit. I said, buy. Wednesday, I was in the bank again with the guy. Buy. The guy was like, okay, wait till they happen now. I said, now the walkway we they do. Because we started at 359. Tuesday, it was 362. Wednesday, the guy, we were on the phone. We were about to conclude. The guy said 363. And I said, okay, let's deal. As I sent the first leg, the guy just called me and said, the people have changed. Though. That is 369. I said, doesn't matter. Buy. He stopped. He said, I said, buy. He was now looking at me. He said, why? I said, it's common sense. This guy dropped by 50%. Yes or no? What percentage must our own income drop by? Minimum 30%. Yes or no? Somebody sent me that CBN did a circular and they said that people should not be worried. It's just a scare. Now, what do I think? I said, Baba, what is 50% of 365? I said, add it to 365. Until Naira gets there, mathematically, we cannot have a pullback. Is it not common sense? When it got to 500, the guy looked at me. That was when they decided to call me the name Ancestor. So that's how the Canadian dollar is. It's very sensitive to crude oil prices. So those of you that trade Canadian dollar, Wednesday is a good time to trade. It's a risk currency demand. It appreciates when the global economy thrives. And then when you have Bank of Canada, BOC monetary policy, it also appreciates. So you can go and study more about commodity currencies. Is this helpful so far? Are you sure? Because I know it's a bit boring, but is it helpful? Oh, it's not boring. Fantastic. I like that. Thank you. Then, Japanese yen. Safe haven status. Safe haven status. The Japanese yen is a safe haven currency because Japanese, they save like mad. They save, they save, they save. And that's why they're very sensitive to inflation and bond prices. Global trade relations, they are sensitive to global bonds and treasuries. If I have time, I'll show you something on TradingView. Anytime you see US bonds, 30-year, 10-year, 2-year, doing, and gold, whenever they are going in the same direction, expect USDJPY to go in the opposite direction. Yes or no? Why? Because they save by buying bonds. Does that make sense? Okay. That thing I just told you is a simple hack. Go to tradingview.com. Put US bonds, 30-year, US bonds, 10-year, US bonds, 5-year. Put all of them together. Superimpose them, overlay them. Put gold, overlay it. If you see all bonds and bullion facing one direction, USDJPY is going to face the, scale it out to a year, monthly time frame, zoom all the way out. You'll be shocked. This thing I told you is actually what I teach in the master class. But, I mean, Your money is not going to reduce my money. No, but if you come for training, you pay to hear me say it again. All right, so CHF, same thing. Safe haven status, geopolitical neutrality. Did you notice all the three currencies that I said were safe haven status? Okay, put all of them in the same WhatsApp group. All safe havens behave alike. That's another nugget. The same way all commodity currencies behave. That's another nugget. So let me ask a simple question. Australian dollar, okay, the last and final one, is a commodity currency, is a risk currency. You are a trader here, you need to know what safe haven currencies are, you need to know what risk currencies are. Okay? When the world is panicking, where do they go? When the world is feeling prosperous, where do they go? Risk currencies. Thank you. All right, so second question that I want to ask, example number one. Let's say, hypothetically, September of 2024, the ECB is tightening monetary policy, they are raising interest rates. They are raising interest rates, meaning they will increase what they pay out as interest for holding that currency. Does that make sense? Okay, and what they will charge as interest also is also going to increase. But if they are increasing the interest rates, so the rate of return in this country is higher than the rate of return in another country, where will you carry your money to? The country that has the highest. Thank you. So if in 2024 they decide to increase interest rates, what will happen to the euro? Will it rally or will it sell? It will rally, yes or no? Now that they are increasing interest rates does not mean it will rally. Automatically, there are other factors. But simply put, yes or no? Okay, let me explain it in layman's terms. Once I have 15 minutes left, please let me know. Okay. Imagine that I'm doing very well as a businessman and I'm making a lot of money. And I come and I meet you, I'm employed, let's say I'm employed in where? Chevron, yeah? And then I come and meet you and say, sorry sir, please borrow me some money till the end of the month when they will pay me salary. And then you say to me, no, I'm not going to borrow you. And then I now say, okay, I'm going to pay you 20% interest. And I say, no. And I say, okay, it's an emergency, I'll pay you 40% interest. Are you going to agree? You are going to agree, yes or no? Because you know I have a stable stream of income, yes or no? Now imagine that I lose my job in Chevron. I now come and meet you and say, sir, please, I need you to loan me money. I'm going to pay you 10% interest. And I say 20% interest. 40%. Now you're laughing, Abi. Am I not the exact same person? Am I not increasing interest rates? So that they say interest rates will increase doesn't mean you just rush. Sometimes arbitrary interest rates increase is the reason why that currency will fall. Yes or no? Because by the time I go and meet 10 people and tell them I will pay them so interest rates, all of them will be like, this guy is desperate and doesn't have the capacity to repay. Yes or no? Does this make sense? But all things being equal, whenever they increase interest rates in a stable economy, what happens to the currency of that country? Is this helpful so far? Yeah, clap for me now. I've been standing since. Come on. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Then imagine that after, okay, example 2, non-farm payroll unemployment figures came out worse than actual, but better than the forecast. Now, this is something about fundamentals you have to look at. How many of you have seen news come out for fundamentals? And the news is bad for a currency. And then the currency starts to buy. You have seen it before, right? You say, this is bad, and then I'm going to sell. And then it starts to buy. You know why? The data was bad. But it was not as bad as, which is then good. And then that currency will rally. It's a very confusing thing about fundamental analysis. You have to be able to tell the story, where it is coming from and where it is going to. Does this make sense so far? Okay, I'm going to skip. There's a lot I want to say. But let me just give you something very basic. Let's skip to conducting your fundamental analysis. Okay. All right. To help you understand fundamental analysis better, just narrow all your data into two things. Every time I want to do fundamental analysis, this is what I look at. Economic growth on one hand, inflation on the, let's say that together. Don't look at data in isolation. Ask yourself, how does this news release affect economic growth? How does this news release affect inflation? Growth is the increase in the amount of income that people earn and how affordable life is. Inflation is the increase in the price of goods and services. Let me explain that simply. Growth is simply how much you pay, how much you are paid for the value you create. When you create value, how much can you earn from that value? Inflation is how much do you pay for the value you consume. Does this make sense? Because I'm a self-taught economist, so I like using simple terms. Growth means when I create value, how much will you pay me for that value? Inflation means when I want to buy value, how much will I pay to access value? Does this make sense? So when they say a country is growing, it means the people in that country are paid more for the value they create. When they say there is inflation, it means the people in that country pay more for the value they consume. Does this make sense? Okay, let's jump to step 2. Let's keep going. Okay, so let me just explain these terms. When growth is increasing and inflation is increasing, what do we call that? Reflation. Write these terms and go and study them. Growth is increasing, inflation is increasing. Growth is increasing, inflation is decreasing. That's Goldilocks. Growth is decreasing, inflation is increasing. That's stagflation. Growth is decreasing and inflation is decreasing. That's deflation. These 4 things are all that happen in a cycle. So when data comes out, ask yourself, how is this affecting growth? And how is this affecting inflation? This gives you the economic theme for the year. Last year, the economic cycle we were in was purely inflationary. Inflationary. It was an attempt to curb inflation. All right? So what are the questions you ask yourself? At Value Flow Trading, this is basically how we look at things. Number 1, what's the economic theme? What's the cycle? How do we know this? By monitoring growth and, let's say that together, by monitoring. All right. When you are able to tell what that story is, you know what the economic theme is. Like this year, what we are fighting this year now is inflation is still being fought, but growth is now suffering. So they are trying to manage those two. Then we determine the market drivers. You like this. If this is all you get, you will really like this. The market drivers. And then the last thing we do is determine market sentiment. So, economic theme tells me what is happening in the big picture. Market drivers tell me what is happening right now. How do we use this? Now, there are 5 market drivers that we look at, but I'll teach you on 2. The first is risk on, risk off. Let's say that. Remember I told you there are 2 types of currencies. We have the commodity currencies or the risk currencies, and we have the safe haven currencies. All right. And how does that simply work? You see CHF, JPY, and USD. They are safe haven currencies. And you see AUD, NZD, and Canadian dollar. They are risk currencies. When traders are afraid of the global economy, they buy safe haven currencies. When traders are optimistic about the global economy, they buy risk currencies. Simply put, if we are not sure what will happen in the global economy, what will we buy? CHF, and this will change your trading. If we are very sure that the economy will do well, what will we buy? Now, next slide. So whenever I want to know what the fundamentals are doing, and I don't have time to read the news, this is what I simply do. I visit finviz.com Forex Performance. I check what is on the first 3 currencies on the left, 3 currencies on the right. In what you are seeing here, what are the currencies on the left? NZD, Canadian dollar, sorry, on the right. NZD, Canadian dollar, and what? What are they doing to it? They are selling it. You see the time frame monthly, Abi? Daily, weekly, monthly. I've circled monthly on that side. Can you see it? Okay. By looking at this, in the last 1 month, what's that telling us about the global economy? Risk. So they are selling what? Commodity currencies, yes or no? Now look at what's happening on the other side. JPY, USD, and CHF. Are you seeing it? Are they together? And where are they moving towards? What story is this chart telling me? No. People are selling, yes, uncertainty, but people are selling commodity currencies. They finished selling it, yes or no? And what are they piling into gradually? Safe haven. That means whatever fundamentals are coming out, they are bad for the global economy, yes or no? All right, now the next thing. Now that we have known how to determine the market drivers, the economic themes, do you understand how to determine it now? Do you or you don't? Eh? You do, okay. The next thing, look at this. I'm going to tie it now. Next slide. We determine market sentiment. Next slide. These are the charts. I know this is what you want to see. Yes or no? Okay. No, I'm going somewhere. And I'll end it with this. This is a daily chart of the risk currencies. What is happening with AUD USD? The whole of February, what happened? NZD USD. The whole of February, what happened? USD CAD. The whole of February, what happened to Canadian dollar? It bought, yes or no? USD CAD bought. So what was happening to the Canadian dollar? It was going down. What is this telling me generally about the global economy? Risk is, thank you. Those of you structured traders, do you see what is happening now at the base? What is happening? Consolidation. Are you seeing the fair value gaps? Are you seeing the liquidity grabs? What is going to happen possibly in March? That is my accumulation phase. This is my accumulation phase. Yes or no? My accumulation phase. Yes or no? I will see break of structure. Yes or no? Okay. Once I see break of structure, they are all commodity currencies. They will do the same thing. If it breaks to the upside, AUD USD breaks to the upside. NZD USD breaks to the upside. USD CAD breaks to what direction? Thank you. What do? I go back to my FinVis. What do I want to see FinVis doing now? What should be happening to the commodity currencies? They should start gradually moving, yes or no, to the other side. What should happen to the safe haven currencies? They should start moving to the, do I need to know GDP, PPI, CP, all those things? Once I see that, I combine sentiment with structure. Once you understand sentiment and structure, you've understood trading. Is this making sense or it's not making sense? There are 4 pillars to trading: market sentiment, market structure, market sessions, and market psychology. You as the trader. The time is up. I hope this was helpful enough. A quick recap. Go to FinVis on the daily, on the weekly, and on the monthly. Look at what the commodity currencies are doing. Look at what the safe haven currencies are doing. When you see them moving together, that's a strong fundamental. Identify what they are trying to do. Then come to your charts. That exact thing I showed you. AUD, NZD, USD CAD, NZD, USD, AUD, USD, and look at how they are all moving. Look at structure on a daily time frame. Understand it, and then look for your entry points. That is the trend. So number 1, as a recap, as I take my seat, identify the commodity currencies and the safe currencies. Go to finvis.com Forex Performance. Look at when they are acting in the same direction. That's strong fundamentals. Come to your daily charts and see if they are all moving in the same direction. That is your entry point. You've determined the higher time frame, because this is the problem of many people. What's the overall trend? Once you determine that, you can take your trades for that month, following the trend, knowing that the fundamentals are backing you. Does this make sense so far? Write down your questions. We'll take it in the other sessions. Thank you very much.